Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Hunter, and I am the Field CTO at NinjaOne. Welcome to Ninja 101, where today we're looking at how to use NinjaOne's operating system deployment tool to capture and deploy a Windows image over the network using a PXE server or PXE server. We first need to configure our PXE server. This isn't a required step, as NinjaOne's OS deployment tool works just fine without using a PXE server. But if you are deploying images to many devices, a PXE server can be a good way to streamline the process. There are plenty of options for PXE servers, but today we're using a feature that's built in for Windows Server operating systems called Windows Deployment Services, or WDS. On your server, open up Server Manager, click Manage, then Add Roles and Features, and you can step through the wizard like I am here. And when you reach the Server Roles page, check Windows Deployment Services. Continue through the wizard and click through to Install. This can take some time, so if you're following along, go ahead and pause the video until the installation is complete. Once the installation completes, go to Tools, and then Windows Deployment Services. Expand the Servers node, right-click your server, and select Configure Server. Step through the configuration wizard. On the first screen, choose Standalone Server. This lets WDS run without Active Directory, which is useful if your server isn't domain joined, or if you simply don't want Active Directory involved in the imaging workflow. If your server is domain joined and you want Active Directory to handle client pre-staging and approvals, pick Integrated with Active Directory instead. Next, let's set the Remote Installation folder location. This is where WDS will store boot images and other files, and make sure to pick a drive that has enough space. Under PXE Server Initial Settings, select Respond to all client computers so any machine on the network can boot from the server. And a reminder that in an Active Directory integrated setup, you can optionally restrict this to known pre-staged computers. Go ahead and click Finish. WDS is now running and ready to accept boot images. A note here that DHCP is a requirement for the PXE boot workflow, so DHCP needs to exist somewhere on the network. This could be a separate server, your router, or this same Windows server that we are on right now. If DHCP is running on the same machine as Windows Deployment Services, go ahead and open up the WDS server properties, go to the DHCP tab, and check both Do Not Listen on DHCP ports, as well as the Configure DHCP options to indicate that this is also a PXE server. Create a folder on a drive with plenty of free space, right-click it, and go to Properties, Sharing, Advanced Sharing, and then click Share this folder. After giving it a name, go ahead and click Permissions to grant the account that NinjaOne will use to access both change and read access properties. Then switch to the Security tab and confirm that same account also has Modify NTFS permissions. Both share and NTFS permissions apply in this case, and the more restrictive permission is going to win out. The resulting EUNC path is what you'll plug into NinjaOne during the capture and deploy steps. Now we need the bootable media that WDS will serve to client computers. So in NinjaOne, let's go to Administration, Library, Downloads, and then download and open the NinjaOne OS Deployment Launcher. There are 3 build types to choose from. The first is Wim. Use this when you're working with a PXE server like we are today. We also have ISO, which we would use for virtual machine deployments, and then USB, which we'd use for physical machines when not leveraging a PXE server. Let's select Wim, choose a location to save the file, and then click Create. NinjaOne will generate the WIM file we need. Back in the Windows Deployment Services console, navigate to Servers, the server in question, and then Boot Images. This should be empty right now. Right-click and add the WIM file we just generated. Select the file, click Open, and step through the wizard. WDS will upload it to the server, and once that's done, any machine on the network can boot from it. Now that our PXE server is configured, we can capture an image from our template device that we want to replicate across other machines. Tune in next week for part 2, where we'll capture the image from our target machine and deploy that image to a bare metal device. Take care.